I got to the hospital. I was in semi-conscious, in a lot of pain. And all of a sudden, I blacked out. I lost consciousness. But I kind of opened my eyes to understand that I was on the ceiling, looking down at this operating room where they had taken me, you see. Because what they had discovered is that I was carrying a 4-month baby who died inside of me. And I wasn't aware of it, you see. So that began to poison my body. It caused this emergency. So I'm on the ceiling and I'm looking down at doctors and nurses running backward and forward, to kind of like whenever there's emergency. And the next thing you know, I flatlined. And I'm on the ceiling looking down like, how could I flatline? I could see the equipment show that I flatlined, you see. But I'm no longer in pain. The pain is gone. I feel perfectly normal. And the only thing I want to do is communicate to the team that I am all right. But I'm on a ceiling and they're standing in an operating room. So I begin to, how do I get off the ceiling and down to the floor? And as soon as I did, I'm on the floor and I'm running from doctors to nursing going, hello, here I am. I'm okay. You don't have to do whatever it is that you're planning to do. And then it dawned on me, nobody can see me. Nobody can hear me. And I'm watching, them moving back and forth with the equipment, etc., etc. And when they picked up the instrument, I guess, that was seen to be able to try to shock me back, from the position above, I could see the radiation and the electricity on that piece of equipment. And the thought in my head is, if that apply that to my body, I would surely die, because you see, you couldn't tell me that I had died. I was not in pain anymore. And when they raised the equipment, I thought, I'm getting out of here. And with that, I went straight through the ceiling and into a very, very dark tunnel. And I'm traveling in this tunnel very, 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 very swiftly. And it takes me to a place which is, as I approach this place, the light, brilliant, beautiful light, colors that I had never seen before in my life. And they all radiated very beautifully. And then I kind of entered. And once I entered, there was this amazing feeling of love unspeakable and full of glory. I have merged with this light that I was approaching, and now I just feel bliss. I'm absolutely in bliss, and I've merged with the light, and I'm wondering, well, what is there to see here next? It seems to me, I know I'm traveling, and I stop at what I've come to know now as the Akashic record. The record where everything is recorded. And I entered. And when I enter, the first thing I see is a group of people. I would say about 100 or so of them. And they're waving to me. They're welcoming me. And it's strangely enough, I can recognize each and every one of them. They are from different past lives, souls that I've interacted with whom I have connection. And they're like on the other side of a river. And they are welcoming me and they're happy to see me. And among them at the time was my grandparents who had already deceased. There were a couple of other people like my aunt, etc., who I could recognize as souls that I had walked with in this lifetime, but they were souls that I had walked with, it seemed, in other lifetimes. And they were just on the other side of this river to let me know that they were welcoming me and everything was fine. Now, my feelings, I am in like total bliss. Then I am moved to the record. And actually, I'm sitting now to review the life that I have just left. Some of the places where I would be able to see why it is I was drawn into that particular experience. Because, for example, one of the first images I saw, it's like it was a time when there was no electricity on Earth. So people walked around with these, lights, and we're in a tunnel, and it's a bunch of women. There were women. The men were carrying the lighted, what looks like lanterns, but we were all women, and we were in this. I guess it's a cave, and the cave was kind of like dark, so they were carrying light. And when we exited out of the cave, it was dark on the outside, but we were at a river. And there were a number of us women, and they put us into boats. And I realized that the tribe that I belonged to was at war, and they were losing the war. And so they gathered all of us women, got us through this cave to the opening up of the shore, and we were on the shorelines, and there were boats there, and they were putting us in these boats because they knew they were losing the battle, and they wanted us women to stay alive because we would be the ones who would be able to bring forth children to repopulate. And then I come out from that, and I go back to the river, where all these souls are waiting there to welcome me and to show me around and so on and so forth. And my aunt, who was the most recent person who had gone to the other side, she stepped forward and she said to me, "I'm sorry, you can't stay. They're sending you back." And I was like, why? Because the light on the other side is beautiful. It's glorious. It warms your heart. It's hard to put into words. It really takes you into a kind of transcendent state. Everything around you is light, pure light, and you're feeling this energy of love. So the last thing I wanted to do was to return. And I said, "Well, why do I have to go back?" And she said, "We want you to take a message back. We want you to take the message. Life is eternal. There is no death. There is transition from one level of life to another." And I was not a happy camper. I was not a happy camper. And once she said that, it's like the group waved to me and helped me to understand that when I come back, I would still have the opportunity to be in touch with those on the other side who would help me and guide me to manifest and fulfill my purpose. And the next thing I know is I'm moving now from beautiful, phenomenal light and love and glory, and I find myself dropped back into my physical body. It was horrible.